Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shrady and welcome back to the channel. So Season 6 starts today. Season 6, the season of 24 ranks, begins today. So I thought in order to prepare you for the Great League in Season 6, I would go over some of my favorite Great League teams from all the way back from the preseason all the way up to Season 5. I hope that this helps you come up with some teams that might be able to help you. Now, I do want to disclose something here. These are teams that are strong, not spicy. Obviously, a few of them have a couple spicy Pokemon here or there, but there's going to be Azumarill. There's going to be Galarian Stunfisk. There's going to be Defense Deoxys. But that's just how it is. That's how it's got to be if you want to make a strong team. Obviously, you can make a spicy strong team, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to help people who don't have great teams already come up with. So, you know, I've been playing since the beginning of Go Battle League, since the preseason, so I thought that maybe I could share some of this team building that I've done over the, you know, I guess past year with you guys. So the first team is going to be no surprise to people who have watched my channel before. This is probably my favorite team I've ever made for the Great League, and that is the Double Dark team. That's right. So Azumarill in the lead with Bubble, Hydro Pump, and Play Rough. Play Rough is extremely important because Azumarill is your only Azumarill counter. So you need Azumarill with Play Rough in the lead. If you wanted to, you could change Hydro Pump to Ice Beam, but just make sure you keep Play Rough. And then you're going to have Zweilous as your safe switch. By the way, for the rest of this video, the second slot over there is going to be the safe switch slot, in case I don't mention it. So Zweilous is going to be a halfway decent safe switch, but the whole point of using Zweilous as a safe switch is to bait out the Azumarill or the counter user like Machamp or Vigoroth or anything like that. And then we've got Shrady as the closer. So the idea is you safe switch into Zweilous to bait out the Azumarill or the Machamp or whatever, and then Zweilous obviously goes down. Maybe you get a shield or two, probably not two, and then you come back in with Azumarill to finish off whatever it was. And then Shrady is a little bit safer to sweep the end game. It works really well, sometimes better than others, and then you're kind of screwed if there's like, you know, a Vigoroth and a Defense Deoxys on their team, or an Azumarill and a Shadow Machamp on their team. That's kind of rough, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, this next team, again, if you've been around the channel for a while, this is going to be no surprise to you. This is a team that I came up with at the end of Season 1, and then in Season 2, it got me from 2400 ELO all the way up to 2918 ELO in 3 days. This team, even though I came up with it so long ago, it still works great today. Shiftry is one of the best chargers, my personal favorite charger in the game. Charger is a Pokemon that you use either in the league or on the safe switch. You get ahead on energy, and then you switch out. So if he's your safe switch, then you hope that they take a while to switch out, and then you'll be able to throw whatever at it. But in this team, this particular team composition, you stay in the lead matchup. You get at least a Leaf Blade worth of energy, and then you switch out if you need to, and it ends up working out really well, because then you can come in with Azumarill or a Alolan Marowak, get shields, and then Shiftry has, you know, a couple Leaf Blades loaded, and then they're screwed. So there's a few changes you can make to this team. I've ran this team a few different ways. I've ran Shiftry with Snarl, Leaf Blade, and Hurricane. If you want, it's just an idea. And then I've ran Alolan Marowak with Hex and Fire Blast instead of Bone Club and Fire Spin. Originally, when I had this team created, Azumarill was the safe switch, but Azumarill in the recent seasons has not been as safe of a switch because there are so many Azumarill counters, and Azumarill is also a great closer. I think you run Alolan Marowak as your safe switch, and if you want to use Alolan Marowak as a charger as well, then put Hex on it and put Fire Blast on it. The amount of times I ran Hex on Alolan Marowak and Fire Blasted a Galarian Stunfisk, it one-shots it, by the way. It was just so satisfying every single time I did it. So yeah, those are changes you can make. You can also run Azumarill with whatever moveset you want. I just think Bubble, Hydro Pump, and Ice Beam is probably your best bet because it's going to be your best grass type. You know, if you use Azumarill and then somebody brings out a grass type, at least you have Ice Beam to hit it with. Okay, this next team is a team that I have actually not used on the channel before, but I think it's going to be really great. This is a spicier team for sure. Berserker in the lead, then Pelipper as the safe switch, and then Sirfetch'd as the closer. Now you can also use Sirfetch'd as a safe switch if you like. I personally think that Pelipper is going to make a better safe switch. Now, this team is very weak to Galarian Stunfisk in the lead, but you do have two partial responses in the back. Pelipper can obviously lose to Galarian Stunfisk, but Pelipper, I don't have the moveset there because I hadn't saved it, but Pelipper is going to be running Wing Attack, Weather Ball, which is a water type Weather Ball, and Hurricane. Pelipper can actually beat Azumarill, so Pelipper and Sirfetch'd are your best Azumarill responses. Now, Azumarill can also beat Sirfetch'd, but with Leaf Blade, if you land two of them, you can take out an Azumarill. So this is a spicier team. I'm not going to say that it's one of the stronger teams, but I think it's going to be extremely fun. Berserker is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in the game. It is absolutely hilarious to land close combats on steel types. Same thing with Sirfetch'd, except for Sirfetch'd actually does more damage with the close combats. So this is one of the spicier teams that I'm going to put on here, but I do think it's going to be a really fun team to use. So if you're looking for something more fun rather than more effective, then this is your team right here. Okay, again, this next team, if you've been around the channel for a while, you've seen me use this plenty of times. This is not a team that I came up with. It's a team that Vergy came up with, and you guys have heard me shouting him out a long time now because this team is so fun to use. And it looks kind of spicy, you know what I mean? Just because Munchlax and Scrafty are I don't know, they're not spicy. In my opinion, they're not spicy, but they're lesser used Pokemon, which makes them fun to use for me, so people don't expect it as much, you know? But anyway, so we've got Hypno with Confusion, Thunder Punch, and Focus Blast in the lead, and then we've got Munchlax with Lick, Bulldoze, and Body Slam as the safe switch, and then Scrafty with Counter Power Punch and Foul Play as the closer. So one of the reasons I like this team, other than using Focus Blast on Hypno, is that both your Pokemon in the back are weak to fighting. So you can use Munchlax to bait out a fighter, come back in with Hypno, because Hypno is going to absolutely demolish any fighters, and then Scrafty's safe to sweep the endgame because the fighter's gone. Obviously, Skarmory is a bit of an issue, but again, you've got Hypno with Thunder Punch, and if you bait out a Skarmory with Munchlax, you can actually beat Skarmory with Body Slams as long as you throw your opponent off guard with how much energy you have. There was a video I posted a while back where I safe switched into my Munchlax, and they took a while to switch out, so I had like 1.5 Body Slams built up, and the Skarmory came in, and I started chucking Body Slam after Body Slam after Body Slam, and I was over farming a ton to throw them off, so they didn't know how much energy I had, and then they ended up not shielding any of the Body Slams. They only needed to shield one, but it's kind of hard to justify spending a shield when the Body Slam only does a tiny amount of damage. But yeah, you can actually beat Skarmory with Munchlax. But anyway, I'm rambling on about this. This is one of my favorite teams overall, for sure, and it's extremely strong as long as you are good at energy management, specifically with the Hypno, because people don't expect the Focus Blast. The amount of videos I've made talking about Focus Blast Hypno, people still don't expect it. They really don't. And the other thing is, you never shield Focus Blasts, right? But then you get hit by one Focus Blast and you don't shield it, and then for the next like week and a half, every time you see a Hypno overfarm, you shield a million Thunder Punches thinking like maybe it's a Focus Blast, but then it never is, and then a week later you get Focus Blasts again. So yeah, Focus Blast Hypno is extremely fun to use, and I really like Munchlax as a safe switch. It doesn't really win hard against anything, but it doesn't really lose hard against anything either. Even against Shadow Machamp, you're bound to get a shield, because those Body Slams are going to do massive damage to a Shadow Machamp. Okay, this next team is a team that I had a lot of fun with. Now, I did come up with this team, but I used an idea from Zionix, one of Zionix's videos, where he was talking about using Galvantula and using Skarmory to bait out Galarian Stunfisk, and then coming back in to finish it off. I don't remember what Pokemon he had in the lead, but I'm using Quagsire in the lead. Now, obviously, if you want a more effective version of this team, use another Mudboy, Whiscash, or Swampert, and it's gonna have the same effect. But in my opinion, Quagsire is a lot more fun to use. Plus, you can use Sludge Bomb instead of Earthquake if you want, or even Sludge Bomb instead of Stone Edge. Personally, I like the Stone Edge for coverage, but that's up to you. You switch into the Skarmory. Skarmory is your safe switch, and again, Skarmory is not that safe of a switch because there's a lot of Galarian Stunfisks about. But what happens most of the time is you bait out the Galarian Stunfisk, and then you can come back in with Quagsire to finish that thing off, and then Galvantula is safe to sweep the endgame. So this team's a lot of fun. I really did have a ton of fun with this team, and I started using it right when Galvantula got Lunge added to its move pool. So yeah, it's a ton of fun, and it's also very effective. Again, if you want a more effective version of it, use Whiscash or Swampert in the lead instead of Quagsire, but I really like Quagsire. He's a lot of fun to use. Alright, this next team is one of Boneage's teams. If you don't know who Boneage is, he has been featured on the channel a ton. He's one of the moderators in my Discord, and he's been a supporter of the channel since day one. So huge shout out to Boneage. I'll put his Twitch and his YouTube links in the description. I always call him the Spice Lord because he has the spiciest teams I've ever seen, and he's able to just absolutely plow through people with these spicy teams. Now, this is probably his least spicy team I've ever seen, but he's got Firefang, Shadow Mawile, and he does have a shiny one too, so yeah, this is shiny Shadow Mawile with Firefang, Iron Head, and Power Up Punch, and then he's got Drifblim as the safe switch with Hex, Icy Wind, and Shadow Ball, and Meganium in the back with Vine Whip, Frenzy Plant, and Earthquake. This team looks super fun to use. I don't have a Shadow Mawile that's powered up. I don't have 365,000 dust plus the 75,000 for the second move. I don't have that kind of resources, but I would totally use this thing if I had one. It looks so fun to use. I know Poke AK has been like, you know, he's been preaching about this Pokemon since like Season 2 or something like that whenever he powered his up. And it is a really good Pokemon, so if you have one, this team is going to be really fun for you guys to use. I don't really have anything else to say about it other than Drifblim is one of my favorite Pokemon as well. Now, personally, I'm not very good at using it, but it can be very good on the safe switch because if you debuff your opponent enough, you can actually win in some matchups that would seem like a losing matchup. Plus, like say you bait out a Stunfisk, well, then you can double debuff or maybe even triple debuff that Stunfisk, and then you can come in with Firefang Mawile and farm down. Maybe just shield an Earthquake or something like that. So yeah, this team is going to be super fun for you guys to use. Okay, this next one is one that OG fans of the channel might recognize, but probably not. The video didn't get that many views. I made a video called How to Identify Win Conditions. If I remember to, I'll put a little thing up here, a little card that you can, if you want to watch that video, you can. I didn't do very well, but that was back when I had like, you know, 300 subscribers or something like that. But either way, Galarian Stunfisk was brand new at the time, and I wanted to test it out with the team, and I was trying to make a very strong team that included Ferrothorn, and so this is what I came up with at the time. Back then, Galarian Stunfisk was not as prevalent as it is now, but it was still a lot of fun to use. So I've got Galarian Stunfisk in the lead with the classic moveset, and then I've got Defense Deoxys as the safe switch with Counter, Thunderbolt, and Rock Slide, and then Ferrothorn in the back with Bullet Seed, Thunder, and Power Whip. Now I think I may have even been using Flash Cannon instead of Thunder at the time, but that was before Flash Cannon got nerfed, and now it costs one extra Bullet Seed to get to a Flash Cannon, so Thunder is probably your best bet in this team. So this is just a super fun team to use. Well, I don't know. I kind of take that back. It's not the most fun team to use, but it is very effective. You can pick up wins really easily with this team. Defense Deoxys is probably the best safe switch in the game at the moment. So, I mean, like, your worst counter is going to be, like, you know, Umbreon or something like that, but that's why you have counter. You know, you're still doing super effective damage with your counters. And then also, like, you know, somebody comes out with a Whiscash and both your charge moves are resisted, but it's still, the counters add up. In my opinion, counter is the best fast move in the game. Just does a ton of damage and generates energy very quickly. So yeah, Defense Deoxys is strong AF. Yeah, and then we got Ferrothorn in the back. That's pretty much just to cover Azumarill if your Defense Deoxys can't take out the Azumarill. So very fun team to use. Other than the Galarian Stunfisk, but you can replace Galarian Stunfisk. You don't have to use Galarian Stunfisk. Use Gastrodon. Or the other Mudboy I'm trying to think of, I can't remember. Oh, Marshtomp. Yeah, use Marshtomp. Use Marshtomp in the lead instead of Galarian Stunfisk. You'll have more fun, I guarantee it. Galarian Stunfisk is not fun to use at all. Back then it was. In Season 2 it was, but not anymore. Okay, I think this is the last team that we're going to be going over today. I do have more teams here, but I also don't have as much time to edit because I want to get this video out before Season 6 starts. So this was a team that was featured on the channel a little bit more recently, and there are a few changes that you can make in order for this team to work for you. So I'm just going to go over it as it is right now. We've got Mantabuzz in the lead with Snarl, Shadow Ball, and Foul Play, and then Defense Deoxys as the safe switch with Counter, Thunderbolt, and Rock Slide, and then you've got Sirfetch'd as the closer with Counter, Close Combat, and Leaf Blade. the few changes that you can make, this is a very fun team to use. This is extremely fun to use. Mantabuzz is one of my favorite new Pokemon that's come out. It's like a flying Umbreon that has access to Shadow Ball. It is absolutely amazing. So the few changes that you could make, the first time I ran this team, it was changed up a little bit. I had Sirfetch'd in the lead, and then I had Hypno instead of Defense Deoxys, and Hypno was running, I believe, Thunder Punch and Shadow Ball, and I may have even been using a Shadow Hypno, I don't remember. And then I had Mantabuzz as the closer. I didn't have as much luck with that team. I did go 5-0 with it, but that was the first time I used it, and then afterwards it didn't work as well. I'm pretty sure because Mantabuzz is a really good Pokemon, but it's not a good closer. It doesn't do enough damage to be a closer, so when shields are down, you want something that hits hard, and that's why I put Sirfetch'd in the back and put Mantabuzz as the lead. That also helps to, you know, if you have like a Galarian Stunfisk lead or something like that, you got a couple covers in the back. Obviously, Defense Deoxys loses to Galarian Stunfisk, but you can do a lot of damage with the counters, and maybe it'll switch out. So, but yeah, this is one of the more recent teams that I had a ton of fun with. If you don't have a Mantabuzz, you can use Umbreon. Umbreon is also going to do the same job. Oh, the other change that you could make here is using Aerial Ace instead of Shadow Ball or Foul Play. You can pick one of those that you want to get rid of. It takes 4 Snarls to get to a Foul Play, and then I believe 5 to get to a Shadow Ball. So it's up to you what you want to use there. And then you can also change Sirfetch'd moveset. He can change him to whatever you want. He's got all different kinds of moves. He's got Close Combat, Leaf Blade, Night Slash, and Brave Bird. Those are the 4 that I know about. I think that might be it. But you can use any of those. Depending on what cover you need, you can change that up as much as you want. Again, this is one of the stronger teams that it's not spicy. It's really not spicy. These Pokemon are all in the top 25 at least. But it's very fun to use, mainly because Sirfetch'd and Mantabuzz are new Pokemon. So people don't always know what to do against them. That's why I had so much fun with it, because Mantabuzz was throwing people way off guard. They didn't know it had Shadow Ball. You can also run Air Slash on it if you want. That'll give you some extra coverage, and you can also use Mantabuzz as a safe switch as well. So like, say, you know, somebody comes out with I guess a bug type or even a Galvantula. Mantabuzz, believe it or not, can beat Galvantula. It seems like it wouldn't be able to, but depending on the shields, Mantabuzz can actually win against Galvantula. That's pretty insane. Alright, so that's going to be all the teams I'm going to be going over for today. I do have more teams. If you want to see more content like this, let me know down in the comments, because I can make another video just like this one. I've got more teams that I could go over, but unfortunately, this is going to take a long time to edit, and at the moment, I've been filming. I've been filming for 31 minutes, which means I'm going to be editing for about a couple hours now. So if you do want to see more content just like this, let me know down in the comments, or just leave a like rating down below. So if you went on to enjoy it, you know, use a like. Leave a like, use a like, whatever. Like the video. And if you're still watching the video and you're new to the channel, you must subscribe. It is the rules of YouTube. I cannot stress this enough. If you don't subscribe, Susan Wojcicki will come to your house and do some terrible, terrible things to you. I can't say what, because Susan Wojcicki would demonetize me, but she would do them. Trust me. Alright, hopefully I don't get in trouble for defamation. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Take it easy. Shout out to my patrons, NZ Tech Freak, Norstar7620, Joseph Cahill, Aeon, Critterus, and TVDL. Thanks, guys.